Hi, my name's Lincoln Davies, and welcome to another edition of Chopper Chat. Today I'd like to introduce you to a couple of young fellas who know what a difference having doctors on choppers can make. So guys, your stories actually have quite a bit in common. You were both 11 years old when you needed the help of the Auckland Westpac rescue helicopters. Both of you needed our help last year. Charlie, your accident was at the beginning of the year, and Ethan, yours was at the end of the year. They both happened north of Auckland, and most of all, you both needed the help of our doctors who gave you whole blood. But what's unique about today is actually this is the first time that you've seen each other.
Hi, I'm Charlie. Hi, what's yours? Ethan.
What's that like for you guys?
Good.
It's nice to meet other people who have been in a similar accident.
So Charlie and Martin, can you tell me a little bit about what happened?
Well, it was a day my dad was over on a holiday joining us for lunch for the day. We took a taxi to Matakana, which is just about 10 minutes down the road. And as we're driving along, a truck and trailer hit us front on and sort of tore the side of the van away, and eventually we sort of came to a stop, and the roof had collapsed in, and it was very, very quiet. Charlie, what else do you?
Well, I remember waking up in the accident and getting pressure on my leg because it had ripped open, and well, I didn't even know that I was in a helicopter getting delivered to Starship Hospital until I woke up.
Right, yeah, all a bit of a blur, eh? Yeah. Ethan and Matt, what about you guys? What were you up to on the 23rd of December last year?
Yeah, Ethan was up riding his motorbike on a cousin's farm, and I was sort of at the other end of the farm, and his cousin came running down to get me, saying that he thought Ethan had broken his arm. So I jumped in the ute and drove to find Ethan, and when I got to him, he was white from head to toe. So it was obviously a bit more than a broken arm. Even his lips were white. It was pretty scary. So yeah, we rang 111, and the helicopter came and picked him up, and they had to transfuse him in the helicopter, and yeah, he was lucky. So what do you remember?
Like 5 minutes before the accident and waking up in hospital 2 days later.
So guys, Dr. Paul was there in the back of the ambulance with you. What did you notice about the level of care when he was there with you?
Yeah, so we were waiting in the ambulance when the helicopter arrived, and Dr. Paul came into the ambulance and took over the care of Ethan. Did his assessments, and then he was able to do an ultrasound on Ethan in the ambulance, which immediately identified the internal bleeding, which would probably not have otherwise been picked up until he reached a hospital. So having that ultrasound sort of took things to the next level of urgency, and bundled him up and got him in the helicopter pretty quickly. But yeah, it was amazing to see how much of a well-oiled machine everything is when every incident is obviously very different for the helicopter.
So with your accident as well, Charlie, you needed whole blood too, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
We were just very lucky that they had some on board the helicopter. Without that transfusion at the accident site, we could have looked at having his leg, losing his leg. So that's one thing we're very, very grateful for.
And I guess you guys are the same, yeah? With having the whole blood on site?
Ethan wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for the fact that they had the blood on the doctors and the blood on the helicopter.
So Martin, what has this meant for your family?
Well, having that blood fusion on board immediately, we were told several times that Charlie could likely lose his leg, but when he came out of surgery, having that blood fusion at the site saved his leg, basically.
Wow. And Matt, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, incredibly important. If he'd if they decided to take him to hospital in the ambulance, he wouldn't have made it with all his internal bleeding. We were extremely lucky that the Auckland helicopter came to pick him up when they had the doctors and the blood to be able to give it to him on site, otherwise he probably wouldn't have made it to the hospital.
The Auckland Westpac Rescue Helicopter Service is unique in New Zealand in that it carries pre-hospital and retrieval medicine doctors on board. We now do this 24 hours of the day, 7 days of the week, 365 days of the year. This enables our medical crew to perform procedures usually reserved for the emergency room. It means that when a helicopter reaches the scene of an accident or medical event, we can do things like emergency ultrasound and administer whole blood from the moment we touch down. Doctors are one part of a high-performing team of 4. While they work most closely alongside a skilled intensive care paramedic, this team includes a pilot and an aircrew officer as well. Teamwork is essential as we seek to provide the best possible outcome for patients. Well, thanks guys so much for joining us today. It's been great having you here and for you bravely sharing your stories.
Thank you.
And thank you too for joining us for another edition of Chopper Chat. See you next time.